Evening, everyone. David Paul with you here in the KHOU 11 Weather Center, where we find ourselves in a very wet weather pattern. One that dumped 4, 5, 6 inches of rain across Houston, Harris County today. Dumped a foot of rain last night up toward Bryant College Station, a foot. And that's what we're looking at over the next several days. A round of rain tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and each time that happens, you could see 1 or 2 spots that get 7, 8, 9, 10 inches of rain. And so flood watch is in effect through Thursday morning. This is a heavy rain flood threat setup. Stay close to the forecast with us over the next several days. We look at the flood risk for tomorrow. It's a 3 out of a 4 for basically the southern half of the area. Includes all of downtown, includes really almost 2/3 of Harris County down to the coast, and then a 2 out of a 4 tiered threat for the northern half of the area. But look, Brenham, Spring, Conroe, Huntsville, do not be surprised at all if you end up getting 2, 3, 4 inches of rain up here. Models do the best they can, but at this type of resolution, it's really tough to pinpoint stuff like that. Flood watch is in effect through Thursday morning. So the wet weather pattern, the flood risk, stays with us through Thursday morning, and it's only Monday. So we monitor the bayous. We're going to be monitoring these really, really carefully. They all did really well today. Sims, Halls, Brays, White Oak. White Oak only came up about halfway, even though it looked full. That's only about halfway up for White Oak. Buffalo Bayou, Spring Creek, Cypress Creek all did really, really well today. The only spot where we had an issue was on Greens Bayou. Now we had a solid 5, 6, 7 inches of rain right in here. This is Greens Bayou. Where it crosses 59, 69 right here. So here's the north side of the Beltway. There's Bush Continental Airport, Greens Bayou. This afternoon, it did come up right to bank full. So this was red at that point. It's now come down, so we've dropped it to yellow. Stay away from all the bayous. They're all running fast, even if they're not up halfway through their channel. But we're going to see, I think, more bayou issues tomorrow and in the coming days, because now the ground is saturated, and when we get heavy rain, it goes even quicker into the bayou system. 24-hour rain total. So we got lucky last night, Houston. They had 12 inches of rain up here between Brenham and Bryant. That came in about 6 hours late last night into the early morning hours. If we had had a foot of rain in downtown in 6 hours, we would have had a flash flood emergency with it falling on all the concrete down there, and the drainage would have been completely overwhelmed, and that would have been a very dangerous overnight and morning in Houston. But it didn't. It fell here. And even folks out here north of Brenham had 6.2 inches of rain. They had 6 inches of rain in Waller County, northwest Waller County, not far from Prairie View A&M. So it was really close to Houston in the Metroplex having an issue, but we just got lucky. But that's what this atmosphere is capable of. It's capable of putting down a foot of rain in 6 hours. What did we actually get today? 5.3 north of Houston, up to Aldine to near Spring. Tascasita, 5 inches of rain. We had lots of high water spots on neighborhood roadways when that heavy rain came down. Mont Bellevue had 1.5 inches, 2 inches Baytown. There's the 6.5 inches of rain, northwest Waller County, up near Prairie View. Fastest growing county by population in the United States, Waller County, so we're paying attention to you. Katy, 1.8 inches, Sugar Land, 1.5 inches of rain. So it was feast or famine depending on where you were. But we mentioned how now that the ground is wet, we're out of drought. You get this kind of rain, it doesn't go away. It goes into the bayous and they do react. So we had a lot of street flooding today. We got away with just street flooding today. If we get another round of rain like we did today, tomorrow we're going to have bayou issues. And one of the big reasons for the rain threat is this boundary, this stationary boundary. This is the cold front we talked about last week. It pushed in, it has stalled. But from time to time, it's going to waver to the south, it'll waver north. And if it wavers into our area at the same time we have a little piece of energy coming in, you could get rain focusing across a very tight area, and that could cause flash flooding. So that's one of the factors going into this heavy rain setup. And as we go into the evening now, if you walk outside, it's very warm and humid. We still have plenty of energy in the atmosphere to produce heavy rain. We're getting some showers bubbling up, and if you squint, you can see there is a boundary right here. And some scattered showers with some little tiny heavy downpours are beginning to line up there. There may be a little boundary right here as well. So it's these boundaries, and you really don't know they're there until we get into the evening, winds calm down, those boundaries become a little more focused like they are now, and then they'll produce rain and you'll see, oh, there's a boundary there. So we're watching some spots. Houston, Metro, Harris County, we've got pockets of light rain with a little embedded moderate rain here and there, the little yellow and red spots showing up there, one near Katy. And then Alvin, you're getting a heavy shower here in Alvin right now. When it gets red in this tropical atmosphere, that's putting down an inch, inch and a half per hour rainfall rate. It's not going to sit on you that long, but this is enough to puddle up the roadway pretty quickly. There's San Leon, League City. Guys getting a heavy shower pushing out over the bay right now. Smith Point, you're about to get a heavier shower coming across the bay toward you. So we could still see some isolated heavy downpours as we go into the evening and overnight. Modeling, you see between now and 9:30, see how the modeling kind of picks up on that boundary? Definitely picks up on it. It doesn't really do much with it, but it's a computer model. It's not perfect, so we'll have to see what the atmosphere truly has in store for us tonight, but this model is suggesting that we're not going to see a big heavy rain band develop here on that boundary tonight. That's what the model suggests. We'll keep an eye on it. That's 9:30 tonight. And then overnight, it's relatively quiet. We get into 4 a.m. and what I'm looking at is this down here. So this will be a piece of energy, a slug of tropical moisture being slung up into the upper Texas coast by our remnant tropical system, which we're going to look at in just a second. That's the other player in this. So that is sending in another slug of moisture going into early morning tomorrow. So between 4 a.m. and 8:30, we do get widespread rain and thunder, and there will be some heavy tropical downpours with this, and this is when street ponding is going to become an issue once again, tomorrow morning's commute. Going to noon, modeling kind of wants to push that into the northern half of the area, so there's your chance at rain. Brenham, Columbus, Magnolia, Conroe, Cleveland, Huntsville, noon. So I think the heavy rain chance is early morning to around lunchtime or so. And then we should see things kind of settle down, but not completely. Modeling like this evening still has a few little dots of showers going into the afternoon, but hopefully we'll see things settle down. The problem with this high-res modeling is that sometimes it doesn't catch the amount of energy that is still sitting out here in the atmosphere. So we may end up with more coverage than this model's even showing. And then we go into 9:30 Tuesday evening with a lingering shower near the coast. Could be a thunderstorm. So Tuesday looks active again. I think the best chance for another round of heavy widespread rain will be in the morning, starting 4 or 5 a.m. through 7 a.m. through noon. I think that's our slice of the heaviest rain and flash flooding threat. I'll back it down to a 60% rain chance in the afternoon, but even then you could see a pocket of heavy rain. So that's the way it looks based on the modeling right now. Now the tropics. So you'll remember we had this tropical entity area disturbed weather down here as we went into the weekend. Well, it meandered and it fizzled, did not develop. But what there is of this little very, very weak, broad circulation is still here. And it looks like it's going to make a right-hand turn and get out over the Texas coastal waters. If it can get over open water and get clear of the coast, it will have a chance of developing, thus the 50% chance for developing into a tropical depression or a tropical storm. On this type of a trajectory, developing so close to the coast, if it were to develop, it would not be a big storm surge threat or wind threat, but it will put a strong onshore flow that will send moisture and rain into Houston and Galveston, and that will make the surf very dangerous. I think we could see wave heights going into the middle part of the week with an onshore flow 10, 15 feet in the nearshore waters. So be very careful of that marine interests. Let's look at the modeling on this. Euro's been doing a pretty good job. So here's what there is of our remnant circulation sitting over northern Mexico. And just in and of itself, even if it doesn't develop, it's going to continue to sling the moisture and the rounds of rain into Houston, Galveston. Will it develop? So we watch the modeling and we go into tomorrow noon 30. It's still sitting here on shore. And then modeling continues to suggest that what there is of this is going to straddle the coastline. So half over warm water, half over land. Under that scenario, it won't develop. It will not become a depression or a tropical storm. What it will continue to do is bring in this onshore flow that'll get the seas and the waves going and bring in rounds of rain. If the modeling is off a little bit and that low ends up getting out here, then absolutely this could become a tropical depression or tropical storm as it moves up the Texas coast. So it's something we're going to have to watch really carefully. Obviously, it's sitting right on our doorstep. We go into Thursday. Let me back this up a little bit. That ran away from me a moment. So here's where we were. Wednesday, expect heavy rain from that setup on Wednesday again. Wednesday night, and this is wee hours of Thursday morning, and this actually is concerning. That could produce a concentrated area of very heavy rain somewhere between Houston and the coast. Thursday, wee hours of the morning. That is concerning, and that's reflected in the rainfall forecast that I'll show you here in a second. It's not until Thursday evening that what there is of this pushes far enough east to lower our rain chance and really kind of bring the flood threat to an end. But that's not until Thursday morning. So rain total. So this is interesting. We look at this model saying between now and the end of Thursday, we could have an area that gets 12 to 18 inches of additional rain. That would be spread out between now and Thursday. So when we see a forecast like that, sometimes we take that with a grain of salt. That's a lot of rain. But in this case, it's absolutely for real because we saw last night in 6 hours right here, we had 12 inches of rain right there last night. So we could get a 10-inch bullseye somewhere in southeast Texas tomorrow alone. And if that were to occur, the watershed it came down on would probably see some significant flooding. So if you live next to one of our area creeks and bayous and you're in an area that you know that is prone to flooding, make sure you're watching the forecast, monitoring the weather really carefully, be ready to move out of the low-lying area if the heavy rain comes in your direction. We continue to update you on all our platforms, and download the app and turn on notifications, and you'll get the latest whenever it happens. So that is the serious rainfall threat that we are facing for the next several days. And thus the weather impact alert, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know, we try to back off on rain chances going into Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They don't completely go away, but it looks like it becomes a lot less of a threat. The focusing mechanisms of that front and that tropical system leave the area after Thursday. So we go back to garden variety scattered showers and then hopefully backing it down into early next week. That's a lot. Okay, that's where we stand right now. We will be live on KHOU 11 News at 10 o'clock. We'll see you then for the next live update.